Tell me your first name, last name, and your now current title.
Gotcha. So, Cassandra Howard, and I am now the Assistant for Mobilization and Reserve Health Affairs, assigned to the Office of the Assistant Secretary for Defense Health Affairs at the Pentagon. Yes.
So tell me a little bit, you were here, tell me a little bit about how you got ready for this exercise. You're the one that put everything together.
Yes, so our TAG, General Haston at the time, asked that we come together as a joint medical entity in the state of Tennessee and train jointly. And so then the ask was that we get Army and Air together, get the airmen and soldiers together to train, maybe in a Dom Ops scenario. So I reached out to my fellow Army surgeons, and initially we started off, okay, can we just have a 20-man team come together, 10 Air, 10 Army, and figure out what our basic capabilities are and how we could respond together. Many months later, we ended up with a very joint exercise, not only Tennessee Air Guard, but Tennessee Army Guard, Tennessee State Guard, and several civilian partners, including the UT Health Science Center's Emergency Residency Program and the Department of Health and TEMA's ESF-8 function.
I'm a Tennessean as well. My entire life I've been hearing about the big earthquake that's going to happen.
Yes.
You're from Memphis. If Memphis was hit, and we're practicing for that today, tell me why that's,
right.
Tell me about, I'm going to go back to a little bit again about why that's so important.
Right.
Shaken Fury.
Right. So, you know, when we train, our focus and our mission is on readiness. We always want to be ready for whatever the need is. So when our leaders or our governor calls and says, hey, we need the Tennessee National Guard to respond, we never want there to be a day that we are not prepared, trained, equipped, and ready. We know the New Madrid is a living and viable threat, so at a minimum, we need to be able to respond and you know, treat the citizens that may be injured or displaced during that event. But we also are aware that there are other events that may happen. There may be national disasters, man-made disasters. So the New Madrid event is a real and living threat, but all of our training scenarios, we keep them very broad-based. Our medics are trained to respond to combat as well as trauma, and so we think it's very important to be ready.
Tell me about this joint training and why joint training. Why should Tennesseans know, why should citizens know that joint training is important?
Yes. So I guess I would take it back to the construct of the National Guard. And when we say National Guard, I'm implying Army and Air in this sense, and even the State Guard. We are here as volunteers to stand up when called as citizen soldiers to service the citizens of Tennessee. Our specific training capability is medical, so we broaden the opportunity or the capability we can provide as in responding by banding together and you know, combining those groups. So the Air has certain capabilities, the Army has certain capabilities, the State Guard has a wealth of expertise, and then partnering with our civilian counterparts, you know, physicians, nurses, EMS personnel, that's the best opportunity we have to provide that training response, or that actual real world response to the citizens of Tennessee.
When you talked about the citizens of Tennessee, should they feel safer that this is going on today, this joint exercise training is going on today?
Definitely. I'm a Tennessean, I'm a citizen in Western Tennessee. We learn together today even more about what our true capabilities are, and we are well suited to meet a wide variety of needs, whether it be a simple casualty aid station on up to full trauma, triage, stabilization, and aeromedical evacuation, either by an airplane, fixed wing, or by rotary wing helo.
You're now in Washington.
Yes.
Tell me how you're going to affect change across the entire reserve force.
Yes, so this is an exciting time for me. I am assigned to the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Health Affairs, and this is a great time of transition for the Military Health Service. We have been asked by Congress, ordered by Congress, to transition into one uniformed military health system, and I will be a part of helping bring the 7 reserve components together to do just that. So,
tell me about some of your training and some of the scenarios you've been through to help you broaden your mind and get you to where you're at.
Wow. Well, I've served for over 30 years. I joined as a basic enlisted airman. I was a flight medic and served in that capacity for about 9 years. After completing, getting into medical school, I commissioned as a doc and then trained as a flight surgeon. I was a chief of aerospace medicine at the 164th in Memphis, and then served as their medical group commander for about 9.5 years before serving as Tennessee State Air Surgeon for the past 3 years. And I will tell you, every assignment has prepared me and given me the opportunity to learn more with each appointment. And I think the culmination of all of those experiences, all the people we've worked with, and learning the different mission sets in the Air National Guard and National Guard has been very helpful.
Is there anything else you'd like to add about today, about your new position? Anything else,
Yes.
anybody you want to give a shout out to, anybody that's helped you along the way?
Yes, I will tell you, when I was afforded the great opportunity to serve as the State Air Surgeon for Tennessee, the one thing I wanted to accomplish during this appointment was to do just this, to bring together the airmen and soldiers and civilians of Tennessee together, to train together so that we are prepared well before we're called upon. And I will tell you, today has been very rewarding. So my partners on the Army side, the Army staff, the Air staff, the Tennessee State Guard, the Volunteer Youth Challenge Academy, our civilian partners at our community hospitals. I mean, everyone has been awesome. They all recognize the importance of training, the importance of preparation, and I've had nothing but support. So it was the unified effort of this community and these services that has made today happen. So I'm pleased.